The problem is getting out of the way. It's always there for us. It's just us misinterpreting, pushing the answers we want, et cetera, et cetera. We're going to talk about all of that as we go through how we manage to get in our own way. And I think every single person in this class is got a story about a time that they didn't listen to their intuition and how that played out. Every single one of us has a story like that. But we also have those stories about the time that we did and how that played out, right? So half of the battle is being willing to listen. Half of the battle is being willing to listen. But tonight, my whole goal is to talk about what that inner process looks like, what analysis paralysis is, as if you don't know. And then we'll just go through it. So, so this is all about making better life decisions without second guessing yourself. Yeah. That's the old catch. So mainly you already have the answer. You just don't trust it yet. You just don't trust it yet. So many times clients will come to me for a reading and I'll tell them things and they'll say, I knew that. I already knew that. I just needed the validation from somebody else. I just needed the validation from somebody else, right? And so we do know, most of the time, we do know if we can get our brain to calm down and sit down and let the intuitive come through. So that's the part. And this is why playing the games, back to Fun Friday, this is why playing games teaches you the difference between am I thinking or am I logicking the answer? Am I guessing or am I allowing something to actually creep in there? And so it's really good. And not just Fun Friday, but playing it by yourself. I did that a lot when I was practicing and learning. And I also found that if I got a message, and we all get them, go back and get your checkbook, go back and get your checkbook, or do this or do that. We have a choice in that moment to listen or to brush it off and go, that's inconvenient. um, so a lot of times we go, that's inconvenient. I heard you, but I don't want to. I can guarantee the problems will multiply. The problems multiply. Generally, when I don't listen, the inconvenience grows. The inconvenience grows by not listening. So I've just learned that the hard way. I've learned it enough times the hard way that now I tend to listen the first time. I'm not perfect at it, but I tend to listen the first time to avoid those stories we might share later. Some of the stories we might share later. So most of us already have the answers. Most of us truly do have. Most of us truly know deep, deep inside somewhere we know the answer. It's just a matter of can we access it? Can we trust it? How much of our brains overriding that those impulses? Today's all about clearing the noise. Okay, some of us are noisy. I used to I used to get all of my stuff in my dreams. I talk about this a lot. I used to get a lot of my stuff in dreams, and I joked about it. I was like, that's the only time they could get a word in edgewise. So they had to wait for me to be knocked out unconscious so that they could impart wisdom. I'm better now. Okay. So, where you might be right now, everybody's in different places with their development, obviously, but the familiar exhaustion, you've made the pros and cons list. I am, and I'll tell you right now, I am actually going through this process. I actually am going through this process myself on a big decision right now. Made the pros and cons list. You talked it through with people you trust. You Googled it. Maybe you chat GPT'd it. You slept on it. You slept on it again. You've gone back and forth so many times. You're just more confused now than when you started. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Yeah. So I am literally walking through that right now, which is funny. I didn't realize that while I was putting the slide together. So even though I work with intuition every single day, I still get caught in this trap. I still get caught in this trap sometimes. So that's not a lack of intuition. I have plenty of intuition. It's analysis paralysis. It's analysis paralysis. So it's exhausting because you're trying to think your way through, you're trying to think your way to something that wasn't built to be thought through. I'll say it again. You're trying, it's exhausting because you're trying to think your way to something that wasn't built to be thought through, meaning the answer is already there. It's accessible from your inner wisdom, and you're exhausting yourself trying to think your way through it, trying to think your way to it. We all were taught our whole lives that logic is the king, right? Logic makes the most sense. Logic is what smart people do. Intuition is questionable. We all were taught that in school from the time we were a kid. You logic your way through things. That's how you solve problems. That's just the culture we're brought up in. So everybody values the logical mind. And so we learn to lean on it. We learn to lean on it and trust it more than we trust our intuition. It's just part of how we were taught, most of us. If you were really lucky, maybe you had a parent that taught you how to tune in and listen to yourself a little bit more, but pretty much the whole world's telling you to lean into logic. So that's what we do. And I know that for myself, when I have a decision to make, first thing I do is start the pros and cons list, right? Start with the pros and cons list and start working through it intellectually. So I know a lot of you do it too. It's just what we've done our whole lives.